Alright, this video is going to show you how to rotate a shape 90 degrees counterclockwise on a coordinate plane. So instead of going from this one here in quadrant 2 to quadrant 1, we're going to be going the other direction, the opposite way of the way a clock goes, from quadrant 2 to quadrant 3. Before I get started with the rotation, I'm going to write down our rule for this. The rule that we learned in class was to multiply. Let me get our original coordinate player here. Okay, so first we're going to multiply y by -1. So x stays the same, and then we get y times -1, which is going to be the same as saying x negative y. And then finally we are going to switch the x and y coordinates. And we are ultimately going to get negative y x. And then the shorter way to remember this is to just say that x, y turns into negative y x, so with parentheses. There we go. Okay, so to actually calculate and graph this rotation, we're going to start by writing down the original location of points A, B, and C. Point A looks to be left 9 and up 5. So that's going to be -9, 5. Point B looks like it is left 2, then up 8. So that will be -2, 8. Point C looks like it's left 3, up 1. And so that will be -3, 1. Now we're going to go through and apply our rule. I'll do the longer method up top just in case anyone's using that one on point A, and then on points B and C I'll go ahead and just use our little shortcut down here. Okay, so for point A, as we turn it into A prime, our first step up here is to leave x as it is. We're going counterclockwise, so we're not going to change the x coordinate, we're going to change the y coordinates. So it's x and y times -1, which will turn into x is -9 and 5 times -1 is -5. And then our final step is going to be to switch these two coordinates. And that's going to give us -5, -9. Then using the shorter method to calculate point B and turn it to B prime, we're going to say -y, so our y is 8 and -y is going to be -8, and then x, which is -2. And turning C to C prime, y is 1, so y is going to be -1. And then we write our x, which is -3. And just really quickly, we don't have a point D, but I'm going to show you this very quickly just to make sure that we're clear. If point D was 1, -7, and D prime, then this -7 would be multiplied by -1 and it will become positive. So even though this says -y up here, it's going to flip the sign every time. So that will become +7, 1. But that was just an example, and we're still going to be working with these points up here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and copy these points into the space provided right here for A prime, B prime, and C prime before we graph the coordinates. Alright, so A prime was -5, -9. B prime was -8, -2. And C prime was -1, -3. And before I even start graphing these, I can see because these x signs are negative and the y signs are negative, that we're going to be going left and then down. So I can already see that the points are in the right quadrant because we're moving a quarter turn counterclockwise. Okay, so now to graph point A prime, -5 means I go left 5, and -9 means that I go down 9. And that's going to be point A prime. and I will label it as such. Point B prime is -8 -2. So -8 means we go left 8, and -2 means we go down 2. And there's point B prime. And finally C prime is -1, -3. And again, -1 means that we go left 1, and -3 means that we go down 3. And there's point C prime. And then we're just going to connect these. These are the vertices of our triangle. And you can see that each point has moved 1/4 turn, centered around the origin, in a counterclockwise direction. And that is it.